Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Julie's Creative Life. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're a new viewer, you're very welcome here. In today's episode, you'll find that it is gardening heavy. The weather has finally warmed up here in the northeastern part of the United States. So it was time to think about getting seeds started and preparing the garden ready for the growing season, along with a fairly large project that needed to get done while the weather was good. So as a result, the crafting is a little light this episode, and the gardening content is pretty much full on. But let me show you what I have been working on while I've been inside. So I did purchase some yarn that's new to me. Yarn, which is a blend of cotton, bamboo, silk, and a little elastane. But I thought I would make some summer socks. So these are the 3 colors that I've purchased, with the plan that the cuff and toes will be in this white, and then a pair each in this pretty iris blue and this raspberry color. And I did cast them on already. And the thing I love about shorty socks is they're pretty quick. So I did some of this in the car yesterday. So I have the cuff, which runs immediately into the heel. So that's always refreshing after knitting full-length socks. And I have completed the heel turn and picked up stitches on one side, ready to pick up stitches on the other side, and then proceed away down to the toe. So that's something new that I've started. The shorty sock pattern is called the Sail Away Socks by Felicity McGreevy, and that is available on Ravelry, and it costs £1.50. The next thing that I finished was my striped washcloth or dishcloth from Pearl Soho. So that's been washed and is ready to be used for house cleaning. And I am still working on my ranunculus. I did take some photos, which I will insert here after I've talked to you, but it's almost finished. I have to finish one sleeve, and I've already cast off the hem at the bottom and finished one sleeve. So it just needs to be given an hour and 15 minutes of my time and then washed and blocked, and I'll be able to show it to you in all its glory in the next episode. I'm getting ready to plant my seeds into the mini greenhouses, and I thought I would share with you what I'm planning to grow this year and the way that I keep my information collected. I don't claim to be an expert, but this typically works for me. So I do have a notebook where I keep my plans for the year. So I had taken my seed inventory from last year. Now, whether these seeds will be viable or not, I don't know. And then things that I want to add to the garden this year. And then I also have indoor sowing dates for when I should be planting my seeds so that they're ready to plant out when our last frost date has passed. Now, in this neck of the woods. My last frost date is the end of May, and we have a very short growing season. So I will start seeds inside just to give myself a head start. And some things I'll just go to the nursery and buy just because it's easier, things like tomatoes and pickling cucumbers. But I do want to start some things early, especially some of the annual flowers. So let me share with you what I'm planning on putting in the seed pots. So I'm going to be planting sweet peas because they make great cut flower bouquets. I'm going to put in the cut and come again zinnias. Same reason, because I like to have fresh flowers in the house in the summer. Cosmos. And I am excited to try these. These are perennial hollyhocks, and I've never grown those before, but apparently they bloom the first season and then will keep blooming. I would imagine they have a fairly short life, though. I can't imagine they would go on for years and years, but I've never grown them. I'm going to give them a try because I love a hollyhock. Hopi black dye sunflower. I grew these last year and they were huge. I just left them on the stalk for the birds in the fall. They may have self-seeded, I'm not sure, but I do still have some of these left. And actually these make great, the seeds from the sunflowers make great dye. So you'll get like a grayish purple dye from these. Dyer's Coreopsis. Now I put these in the ground last year, direct seeded them, and they did not do well. So I'm going to try them in a seed tray this year and see if I can get better results. And these I would grow again for natural dye. Oh, these did really well. Love in a Mist. So I'll definitely put some more of these in. Cinnamon Coreopsis. Again, this is for dye plant material. These were very successful. Flambe French Marigold. And I know people either love or hate French Marigold. I'm not particularly fond of the smell, but they did a really good job last year keeping bugs out of my tomatoes. So I will put them in again. Plus they're good for pollinators anyway. And then I have Dyer's Chamomile, and I had really good success with this last year too. So that's it for flowers. And then for veggies, bell peppers. I had a big success with these last year. These are the Nantes carrots. I will plant winter squash because this stores really well in the basement. I have one left from last year and it's kept really well. So I will plant more of this. I'm usually not in the veggie patch. It's usually just somewhere on the edge of the compost just because it sprawls and it does well like that. Sugar snap peas because they're delicious. I have a raised square planter just off the front porch so I can run out and cut lettuce for salad. So I'll do some butterhead lettuce, some red lettuce, and the salad bowl. Those all did pretty well. But if I plant those inside, I'll get a head start. Baby spinach, basil for pesto and pizza, a small watermelon, and we both love watermelon in the house, so I'm going to give this a go. And I do have something I've never tried, which is some corn. I did buy some pickling cucumber seeds, so I guess I'll do those from seed. That's quite a lot of seeds to put in today, but I'm excited. It's just been such a long winter and cold and dreary. In fact, today it's sleeting and tomorrow we're going to get snow. I think it's April 13th today, maybe the 11th, who knows. I lost track of time. But anyway, just being able to get some seeds in their pots kind of gives you a little boost, and then I'll be checking them obsessively, I'm sure, every day to see if they're going to come up. Here we are in the mudroom. Here's my blueberry bush that was overwintering in the basement. I'd been bringing it out on warm days and bringing it back in at night, and it has decided to bloom. So I may get blueberries sooner rather than later. All right, so let me show you what I have for my seed starting. So I am unboxing this for the first time with you. So here's my box of goodness. All right, so it comes with these little seed plugs, and they're silicone, so you can pop the plugs out easily, we hope, when they're done. So I got lots of those. And of course, these are reusable, which is great. And then let's see what else we have in here. There's like Christmas for gardeners. All right. Okay. So now we have the mini greenhouses. So we can fit the seed pods in here. Let's see. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 pods fit in here. And then, oops. Oh, this is hilarious. A little seed dibber and a tiny shovel. I got 2 of those. Oh, and a tiny little spade. I don't think I'd ever use those, but it's the thought that counts, right? Labels, which is always important. So now for the lids. Let's see what these look like. Okay, so I've got greenhouse lids and little ventilation controls. Let's see if we can put one together. All right, so here's a lid, and it has 2 ventilation spots, ventilation hole, ventilation lids. I don't know what to call them. Ventilation lids, so you can adjust them to let air in or out. And then that would fit over the top of the seed pods. I think that's pretty cool. I hope it works. These were not expensive. I just bought them on Amazon, and I'll leave a link for these in the description box. So I hope I have enough. I'm trying not to get over enthusiastic and overplant, but we'll see how that goes. But I think that's pretty good. All right, and then I use for seed starting, I just use the Miracle Grow seed starting potting mix. So now nothing to do except plant some seeds, water those in, and wait patiently for the end of May. I'm going to assemble the rest of the mini greenhouses. One day I'd like to have a real greenhouse. And I did discover, since I chatted with you last, that these ventilation pieces do actually snap in securely to the lid, so they're not wobbling around. So that's good. All right, there's another one. All right, I'll put some soil in these little plugs. I kind of wish I had Monty Don's setup from Gardener's World. But I don't. It would be nice. I'm trying not to make too much mess, but I think it's inevitable, unfortunately. I have a top tip for you. It's when you're writing your plant labels, don't use Sharpie, because even though you think it would stay on, it doesn't. Over the season, it fades and washes off, and then you have no idea what you put in the ground. So I started using a pencil, and it seems, at least for me, that the pencil stays put, which is good. All right, the seed tray is full. And I'm going to put, in this first one, I'm going to do zinnias and sweet peas, I think. And what I'll probably do is put 2 seeds in each little pod, and then I can thin them out later if I need to. And I have my plant label with the date that I am planting these. That way I can check days to germination. I think, let's see, zinnias, days to germination is 5 to 10 days, and sweet peas, 10 to 14 days. All right, let's get the seeds in. That's good. So what I'll probably do is I will start some early in these little pods, and I will also direct seed some of these in the garden once the danger of frost is past. I'm just pushing them down, not too far. 2 in each pod. I know in England they're trying to get away from using peat, but over here they haven't caught on yet, so most of the potting soil has peat in it, which, you know, I don't really have a choice for now. So I will continue putting the sweet peas in, and then we'll switch over to the zinnias. It's always amazing to me that a tiny seed holds all the information it needs to grow into a healthy and vigorous plant. I mean, look at these tiny babies. These are the zinnias. I wanted to show you the little greenhouses that I made last year from strawberry containers and landscape fabric. So this is all it is. The landscape fabric is just stapled, and then when you close the lid, you have a mini greenhouse. And it's only good for a little while, because once the plants get bigger, you need to leave the lid open, but it's a good way to reuse what you already have. So I have not grown potatoes before, so this will be interesting. I plan on growing mine in a large container, just because I want to be able to control the soil more easily. Even if I get just a couple of pounds of potatoes, I think I'll be pretty excited. But I've gone ahead and cut my seed potatoes so that I have at least one eye on each section. So apparently this is called chitting, and I'll put these out to heal over and put them in a sunny windowsill to give them a head start, ready to plant in a couple of weeks. Today's project is to fix the gate into the vegetable garden. Currently, when you try to open the gate, it gets held up on the grassy area. So the plan is to dig out this spot and put in some pavers so that the door swings freely, and also raise the door up just a little bit. Well, I'm calling it a door, but it's a gate. And then once I can get in there, the plan is to switch over the grass paths to cardboard and mulch, because last year the grass paths were a pain to maintain. So we'll take you along on this little project today and see how we get along. Here's our glorious day for working outside. Super lovely. The gate is fixed and the paths are in. So the cardboard with the mulch on top. And last year this is how I made my 2 vegetable beds. I put down cardboard and then compost that was already here on the property, and I don't know how long it had been here, but it was well rotted and everything grew tremendously well. So I'm really pleased to have this done. The only thing I have left to do will be to edge the beds with my spading fork and then keep control of any weeds that pop up just using vinegar and water. and we should be good to go. I'm glad to get it done because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then the day after that we're supposed to get 2 inches of snow. So life in northern New England. We had a few nice days, so we decided that it would be a good opportunity to paint our red barn. It was in need of a paint job, and so we've decided to paint it black instead of trying to match the colour of the house red that we painted last summer. So it took about 2 days and we almost got it finished before the rain started. But we're pretty pleased with how it turned out, and we've decided to keep the barn doors red just for contrast. We've come to the end of another episode. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel so that we can grow this community further. So until the next time, happy crafting, happy gardening. Bye-bye.